Hey guys, Rumble Superside here, back again doing another gameplay analysis, this time of BF. Now, I'm not the greatest BF. I have some experience with him, especially against him. God, you guys know how much I hate going against a BF. But we are playing him, and we're not the best. So what best than to do a gameplay analysis on it to see what we can do better or what we did do that was great and if we can replicate that. So let's go ahead and just get into this gameplay analysis on BF. So primarily, if you are a melee laner, get eulogies. Doesn't matter if you're a CP laner, doesn't matter if you're a weapon power. Eulogies is by far the most standard thing you want to go for as a melee laner because you are limited in range to pick off your farm. You're gonna get poked and you're gonna get outclassed if you don't have a eulogies to keep your health in tip-top shape. So get a eulogies if you're a melee laner, no matter what damage type you're going. I highly suggest it. Alright, so another reason why eulogies is great for melee laners is you can poke or do damage in exchange to do damage to yourself. You know, obviously if you get to a fight, they're going to hit you too. But what happens is that you go back to your farm and get healed through the eulogies. Well, they're still hurt and not healing unless they pop a potion. So it actually is highly beneficial to get that eulogies in more than one way. So definitely get a eulogies. I see so many laners who are melee and like the moderate to low elos that don't get eulogies, and they're gonna lose, and they do. Right now, it's okay. I'm getting poked. It hurts a little bit. I can do a little bit better of not getting hurt, but because I am, it's still fine. I'm gonna get healed here through the eulogies, which is really, really strong, as we all know. Here we are. My team's going in for the attack here. I missed my on point, I think, but it's all fine. One thing I do highly suggest as a BF, again, if I'm incorrect here, feel free to just let people know in the comment section. But as far as my experience, as far as my own experience, you want to use your A fairly early in a fight if you are in fact chasing. The reason why is because it leaves the rose trails, allows you to run faster behind the enemy and catch up to them to take them out sooner. Or not let them get away. Because if you don't do it, then they might possibly just run out of the way and get out of harm's way. They might just outrun you. So that's why you want to use your A quite early on. You don't necessarily have to wait for full stacks to use it. It has other benefits. Now, you obviously want to use it when it's at full stack if they're getting fairly low. Generally, what I try to do is I try to wait until they're a little bit lower in health, like maybe like 1/3 health, maybe even less than that. And then I'll pop my A because it'll be like pretty much an instant kill if it's full stacks. But generally, I wait because it does give you increased damage for the more stacks you have. So I wait it out until they're really low to use my A for full stacks. Otherwise, I'm using my A for chase, for the rose trails. One question is why do you overdrive your B over your A as weapon power BF? And the answer is quite simple. It's way more beneficial for fighting. One, for laning phase, it's great for farming. It's great for poking the enemy because it gives you some range. It gives you a barrier, which adds up to quite a bit over the course of a team fight or just a one-on-one fight. That barrier adds up to quite a bit. Even though by itself it isn't so substantial, popping off 2 or 3 of those actually adds up to a lot of barrier. Or I should say, is it barrier or fortified health now? I think it's barrier, right? I don't know. They keep changing these things. But yeah, so it's highly effective. And that's why I overdrive it. Plus, the extended range, once you overdrive it, is even better. It just makes the ability that much more effective. And also, obviously, the fact is that it does slow. And being able to slow your enemy is pretty important, especially once that range is increased to max through overdrive. Being able to slow them from a far distance is actually crucial to picking up kills because a lot of times they'll get away if you don't have that overdriven yet. And if you can still slow them down from that far of a distance, you're going to get that kill more than likely. Like I said, the primary use of the A in the beginning for me is the rose trails. If need be, I will use the stacks on the A, but primarily it's the rose trails to keep myself on top of my enemies. Here's an amazing skill shot, guys. Bam! So good. So on point. Get it? Here we go, though. We are going to get the kill right here. Spoilers! Bam! And she's dead. Here we are. We got to be a little bit careful here. We are not level 6. So the rule of thumb with BF is that you can extend if you are aware of your enemies and where they're at, but generally you don't want to extend too much or too often as a BF under level 6 because you don't have an escape. And therefore, you want to wait till you're level 6, because once you hit level 6, your mobility skyrockets with that ultimate. And that ultimate allows you to escape ganks like no other. It allows you to escape gauntlets, everything you can think of. It's an amazing ultimate. So I highly suggest just being very cautious until you're level 6. Then you can be a little bit more authoritative, you know, with the fight and lane. Extending more, being more aggressive, because you can escape at level 6. Another great thing to know about your ultimate is it does apply stacks of broken hearts to multiple targets. So whatever target it hits, it does damage to whatever he goes through, meaning multiple targets get the stacks applied. So you want to use that in a team fight too, is using it to go across the group of enemies to apply stacks to multiple people at a time. Here we are. I'm just going to back out. We did some good damage to the Arden though, actually. Oh, we're going to get her. We're going to get him. We're going to go ahead and get Fortress. Yeah, and then I'm going to go ahead and chase down the Arden, although it's really going to hurt. Bam. It was fine. It was fine. It gave my team an ace. Plus, it gives us the damage on the turret. Worth it. So, got a triple kill there at the expense of my own life, but we also get a turret. I say that's a win-win. Alrighty. So, as far as item build, so a lot of people ask, what is the meta build for BF? I can't necessarily answer that to 100% accuracy. I'm not at the professional esports level, and I can't say what the true best build is for him. I'm not an analyst by any means, and therefore I can only tell you what I see. And what I see is Serpent Mask and Bone Saw. Then you get strictly defense. You get like a Shiver Steel, you get a Renewal, you get, you know, whatever it may be, an Atlas Bouldron. But yeah, they're 2 offensive items. Ouch. A lot of CC in that last fight. Ooh, a little glitch there. But a lot of the... Ooh, glitch. Glitch? Okay. So a lot of the... what was I saying until my game was glitching out? Wow, it's pretty nasty right now. I think it's because I was actually encoding a video while I was actually recording this video, so it's skipping around a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it dies down here in a little bit. That'd be very unfortunate since this video is really good. I forgot what I was saying. I completely went off the rails here. I don't know. Alright, so now my lane is pushed. I probably should just go down and shop, it looks like. Yep. Oh yeah, item builds. So Serpent Mask, Bone Saw is primary offensive items. Anything else is generally defense. You have enough damage in your kit to use the Serpent Mask effectively along with the Bone Saw that you will shred late game regardless, because you have just so much utility and so much mobility in your kit that it's just, you don't need any more. You just want to survive. Pretty much what it will be is like you will stack up your damage with your passives and eventually just become unkillable because you have so much defensive items and you'll just outlast them. A little bit of glitching here. Krugel's in. I'm going to go ahead and get back out. That's a little bit scary. There we go. Getting those on-point stacks. Or not stacks, but barriers. Oh, very nice Arden. The dodge. I think it was more so he didn't intend to do that. He just meant to get the fortress out, but it doesn't matter. He's dead. Here's where I was like trying to take the kill from the Cruel. I know Tick personally, so we mess around like that. So don't get the wrong idea. I'm not doing it to be an asshole. I'm doing it to have fun with one of my friends. So don't get the wrong idea there. I usually don't try to KS if I don't know the people in my team. Or if it's like he needs the bounty that badly, then I'll give him the kill. But here's where I thought Nox was going to come help me. This is not his fault at all. This is mine. I really came down thinking that they're going to come back, but I actually started the fight way too early and didn't communicate to my team saying, hey, I'm coming down to help you. I just said, on my way. And I didn't really give him an ETA of like, I'll be there in a few minutes, let's do something about it. I just said, on my way. And then I start a fight without them around to even know that I'm doing it. So that was my fault. Don't think that was Nox's or Tick's by any means. They did try to come and recover that, but we just could not because it was a pretty big mistake on my part. But hey, we learn from this and we move on. Which leads on to communication is key. Man, there's a lot of skipping around. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it's bearable. I don't know why it keeps doing it, but hopefully it stops. Well, we killed Fortress during that little skip there, looks like. And Arden's not going to get away. He did use that gold mine pretty good to try to do some damage, but just cannot. I missed some on points too, so I missed some of my barriers. You don't want to do that. You don't want to miss your on point barriers or your on point on an enemy hero because you won't get your barrier and it won't be effective in that fight. You want to make sure you always land them. That's the key, right? To always land your abilities, I guess. I'm really hoping that this skipping around doesn't continue, guys. I really apologize if it continues to do so. But I felt like this was a great video to kind of show you guys the power of BF and also the flaws and what you might end up doing as a BF. Some of the most common mistakes I see personally are build order, or just build in general, and point allocation, I would say. Following by that is probably just how they use abilities. But definitely build. Build is primary, and then secondary is point allocation. A lot of people who are new to BF go strictly A, thinking it's the way to be. Logically speaking, like from face value, without really analyzing the kit itself, and just taking what you think from it when you first read it, you would think A is the way to go. But really, it's your B. And Arden is dead. And Cruel misses sword toss, but does he pick it up? He does not. We're looking for a dive, but it's too risky right now. We're not going to do it. I think maybe Nox and I could have done it, but it would have been a pretty high risk, I think. So instead, we decided to focus the turrets. It's more important. Looks like the skipping around has kind of stopped. Thank God. Note to self, do not encode a video, meaning have a video processing in the background for upload, or not upload, but for the editor, while you're trying to record a video. It obviously makes my video skip. This is ranked, by the way. I mean, it's obviously giving me in the title, or not the title, but the description, but it is a ranked match. Sorry, I didn't tell you guys that, but it is a ranked match. Another key factor in building BF is, like I said, build order, not just build items, but build order. And generally what I see is a Serpent Mask and then a Blazing Salvo, and then you start working on your defensive items. When you feel like you're tanky enough, then you continue on to build your Bonesaw. You only build up Bonesaw when you feel like you're not dying so fast and you have enough defense to survive a fight. But until then, you build defensive items. You only get your Blazing Salvo and your Super Mask, and that's it. Bonesaw comes later on. Again, another great thing about BF is his ability to just negate any kind of stun or negative effect through his ultimates. So definitely utilize that like you saw me earlier use. I was trapped by gauntlets, but I used my ultimate to just get out without taking any kind of negative effect there. It's really important. I've seen in the past where BFs are kind of like, they're in this mindset like they're used to where, oh, I'm in a gauntlet, I can't move until it's done. So they're sitting around or running around inside the gauntlet waiting for it to end. And when in reality, you have an ultimate, you can just get out. There we are. My team's going for Kraken. Well, Nox is getting Kraken. The Tick is getting the farm. And I'm getting a turret. Making it super effective in terms of, or to say more so efficient. And how we handled that situation is that you want to split your objective control. So I go turrets, Cruel gets all the farms, so they don't get any farm when they come back. And then Nox is already whittling down the Kraken while we're doing all of that. And then we finally meet in the center at the end to finish off the Kraken and get that. And Kestrel helps as well. So there we go. Now we're already infused. We're probably going to pick up the Atlas Pauldron against that. I wasn't sure at this one. This kind of is like unsure of what I should have done. But I went Atlas Pauldron for the catch just because she is using her basic attacks. And quite frequently, she is using her crit damage too on her A, but just being able to deny any kind of additional damage to her basic attacks I felt was beneficial. And because she is, in fact, weapon power, there is some piercing there, so Metal Jacket isn't as effective. So I felt like getting some armor to mitigate the little damage I can from her, and also being able to slow her basic attack is more effective than a Metal Jacket against a weapon power Kestrel, because she has innate passive or innate armor piercing. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it was a smart move, personally. Like, as I was going to the shop, I was indecisive what I was going to do. But there we are. This is pretty much a game right here. I'm just using my on point to get the barriers as much as I can, and now I die from Kestrel, but it's fine. But yeah, we go. Cruel, and then the Lance or Nox is going to finish it off. And bam. So there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this BF gameplay analysis, regardless of a little bit of skipping here in the middle of the game. I think I did a pretty good job. There's a few mistakes I've made, but overall I think I did pretty good for the limited experience I've had with BF and the higher elos. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Later!